Manchester United transfer bombshell. The Jadon Sancho-Douglas Luiz swap deal that could change everything. Hold on to your seats, United fans, because we've got some absolutely massive transfer news that's going to blow your mind. The rumor mill has been spinning like crazy, and now we have confirmation that could reshape Manchester United's entire transfer strategy this summer. Are you ready for this? The deal that nobody saw coming. Picture this. Jadon Sancho, the talented but troubled winger who's been causing headaches at Old Trafford, could be swapping places with Douglas Luiz, the Brazilian midfielder who lit up the Premier League with Aston Villa. Sounds crazy, right? Well, it might actually be happening. Manchester United have reportedly reached an informal agreement on a deal to send Jadon Sancho to Juventus. And this isn't just any ordinary transfer. We're talking about a potential swap deal that could benefit both clubs in ways that nobody expected. But wait, there's so much more to this story. Let's dive deep into what's really happening behind the scenes and why this deal could be the smartest move United make all summer. The Jadon Sancho situation. What went wrong? The Chelsea disappointment. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Everyone thought Jadon Sancho was going to stay at Chelsea after his loan spell there. The move seemed perfect. He was getting regular playing time, seemed happy, and Chelsea looked like they wanted to keep him. But then something unexpected happened. It was assumed for the majority of the season that the Englishman would move to Chelsea at the end of his season-long loan, but the Blues opted not to buy the player. This left everyone scratching their heads. Why would Chelsea pass up on a player of Sancho's quality? The answer might be more complicated than it seems. Maybe Chelsea had concerns about his attitude, his price tag, or simply decided to focus their money elsewhere. Whatever the reason, this decision has opened up a whole new world of possibilities for Sancho's future. The request to leave. Things got even more interesting when reports started coming out about Sancho's intentions. According to sources, Sancho has asked to leave the club, and the Red Devils are also keen to offload the problematic winger. This suggests that both the player and the club have reached the same conclusion. It's time to part ways. But why would United want to get rid of such a talented player? Well, the word problematic gives us a clue. Sancho's time at United has been marked by inconsistency, attitude issues, and a public falling out with former manager Erik ten Hag. Sometimes, even the most talented players just don't fit at certain clubs. The Juventus interest. Enter Juventus, the Italian giants who are always looking for quality players at good prices. Juventus are said to be very interested in a deal to bring in the England international and have been locked in discussions with United over a transfer. Even better for all parties involved, Sancho is also said to be keen on a switch to Turin. This is huge news because it means we have a willing buyer, a willing seller, and a willing player. In the transfer world, that's like finding a unicorn. Usually, at least one party is hesitant, but in this case, everyone seems to be on the same page. Enter Douglas Luiz, the game changer. Who is Douglas Luiz? Now, let's talk about the other half of this potential swap deal. Douglas Luiz is a 27-year-old Brazilian midfielder who spent 5 incredible seasons at Aston Villa before moving to Juventus. At Villa, he was absolutely brilliant, making 204 appearances and becoming one of the Premier League's most underrated players. What makes Luiz special? He's a complete midfielder who can do everything: defend, attack, pass, and score goals. He's the kind of player who makes everyone around him better, and he's proven he can handle the intensity of Premier League football. The Juventus struggle. But here's where things get interesting. The Brazilian made a total of 27 appearances across the 2024-25 campaign, but did not have the best form in Turin after sealing a high-profile move from Aston Villa last summer. Sometimes, even great players struggle to adapt to new leagues and new systems. This situation creates a perfect opportunity for both clubs. Juventus get a player who could thrive in Serie A, while United get a midfielder who already knows how to succeed in the Premier League. It's like trading assets that could be more valuable to the other party. Why United would want Luiz. Manchester United admire Douglas Luiz, who could be offered in exchange for Jadon Sancho this summer as Juventus try to sign the winger. But why would United be interested in a player who struggled at Juventus? The answer is simple: Premier League experience. Luiz spent 5 seasons proving himself in English football, and he knows exactly what it takes to succeed here. Sometimes, A change of scenery is all a player needs to rediscover their best form. The financial details. Making the numbers work. Sancho's salary issues. One of the biggest obstacles in any Sancho deal is his massive salary. According to reports from Italy, Corriere dello Sport report that Juventus wants to buy Sancho permanently, but they still have to untie the knot of his very high salary of around 10 million euros per season. That's a lot of money, even for a club like Juventus. The Italian giants are known for being smart with their finances, and paying 10 million euros per year for any player is a huge commitment. This is where the negotiations get really interesting. The salary negotiations. Here's where things get really detailed. It is said that the parties are just looking for a solution that suits everyone. The buying Canary are offering him a David-style salary, so between €6 and €7 million net, while Sancho would like €8 million, a figure that the old lady does not consider sustainable. This shows just how complex modern transfers can be. It's not just about the transfer fee. It's about wages, bonuses, image rights, and countless other factors. But the fact that they're so close on the salary suggests that a deal could happen. The two deal structures. Yesterday, a significant breakthrough occurred in negotiations between Manchester United and Juventus for the exchange of Sancho and Luiz. According to reports, United already have an agreement with Juventus over two methods to complete the sale of Sancho. The first option is a straight sale of €25 million plus bonuses. That's about £21 million, which might seem low for a player of Sancho's ability, but it reflects his current situation and the need to move him on. The second option is much more interesting for United fans. A swap deal for Douglas Luiz. This would give United a proven Premier League midfielder without having to spend any transfer fee, freeing up money for other positions. The bigger picture. Why this makes sense for everyone. United's perspective. From United's point of view, this deal makes perfect sense. They get rid of a player who hasn't worked out, save money on wages, and bring in a midfielder who could be exactly what they need. Manchester United are considering the prospect of taking Douglas Luiz in exchange for Jadon Sancho in a swap deal with Juventus. United have been looking for midfield reinforcements for years, and Luiz could be the answer. He's experienced, he's proven in the Premier League, and he's the right age to make an immediate impact. Plus, getting him in a swap deal means they don't have to pay a transfer fee. Juventus perspective. For Juventus, this deal is also attractive. They get a talented winger who could thrive in Serie A, and they solve their Douglas Luiz problem at the same time. Sancho is enthusiastic about linking up with Juventus, which suggests he's motivated to prove himself in a new league. Italian football might suit Sancho's style better than the Premier League. The pace is different, the tactical approach is different, and sometimes that's exactly what a player needs to rediscover their best form. The player perspectives. Both players seem happy with the potential move. Sancho wants to leave United and is excited about joining Juventus. Luiz, meanwhile, might welcome the chance to return to the Premier League where he was so successful. When all parties are happy, deals tend to happen quickly. That's why this swap could be completed sooner than anyone expects. The competition, other clubs circling. The three-player offer. Things got even more interesting when reports emerged about Juventus offering multiple players. Juventus have reportedly reignited their interest in Manchester United winger Jadon Sancho by proposing a swap deal that includes a selection of 3 players from their current squad. This shows just how much Juventus wants Sancho. They're not just offering Douglas Luiz. They're giving United options. That's the kind of flexibility that makes deals happen. The high-value trio. Fabrizio Romano says Manchester United have been offered £500,000 a week trio in a swap deal for Jadon Sancho. That's an incredible amount of talent being offered for one player, even if that player is as gifted as Sancho. This suggests that Juventus are desperate to make this deal happen. When clubs start offering multiple high-value players, it usually means they're serious about getting their target. What this means for United's transfer strategy. Freeing up resources. If United can complete this swap deal, it would free up significant resources for other transfers. They would save money on Sancho's wages and potentially bring in a quality midfielder without paying a transfer fee. That money could then be used to strengthen other areas of the squad. The domino effect. This deal could trigger other moves. If United get Douglas Luiz, they might not need to pursue other midfield targets. If they save money on this deal, they might be able to spend more on a striker or defender. Transfer windows are like giant puzzles, and this deal could be the piece that makes everything else fall into place. The timeline. When could this happen? Based on the reports, this deal seems to be moving quickly. Yesterday, a significant breakthrough occurred in negotiations between Manchester United and Juventus for the exchange of Sancho and Luiz. When there are significant breakthroughs in transfer negotiations, it usually means a deal is close. With everyone seemingly on the same page that a deal is the right way forward, it seems that it may only be a matter of time before an agreement is reached. United will be keen to complete a deal as soon as possible so they can either add funds to their transfer budget or bring in an experienced, Premier League proven midfielder like Luiz to bolster their squad. The risks and rewards. The risks. Of course, no transfer is without risks. For United, the main risk is that Luiz might not rediscover his Villa form. He struggled at Juventus, and there's always a chance that his best days are behind him. There's also the risk that Sancho could flourish at Juventus and make United look foolish for letting him go. Sometimes, all a player needs is a change of scenery to unlock their potential. The rewards. But the potential rewards are huge. If Luiz can return to his Villa form, United would have one of the Premier League's best midfielders. If Sancho thrives at Juventus, both clubs get what they want. The biggest reward might be financial. Getting Sancho's wages off the books while bringing in a quality replacement without paying a transfer fee would be excellent business. Fan reactions and expectations. The reaction from United fans has been mixed. Some are excited about the prospect of getting Douglas Luiz, a proven Premier League performer who could add quality to the midfield. Others are concerned about letting Sancho go, feeling that he still has untapped potential. What do you think? Is this the right move for United? Would you be happy to see Sancho leave and Luiz arrive? Or do you think United should persist with Sancho and try to unlock his potential? These are the questions that make transfer windows so exciting. Every deal has the potential to change the trajectory of a club's season. The broader context. This potential swap deal is part of a bigger trend in modern football. Clubs are increasingly looking at creative ways to get deals done, especially when financial fair play regulations make big spending difficult. Swap deals allow clubs to move players without spending huge amounts of cash, and they can benefit both parties. In this case, both United and Juventus get players who might be better suited to their respective leagues and systems. Looking ahead. As we wait for this deal to potentially materialize, it's worth thinking about what it could mean for United's future. If they can successfully move on from problematic players while bringing in quality replacements, it shows that the club is learning how to operate more efficiently in the transfer market. The new ownership structure at United has promised to be smarter with transfers, and deals like this could be evidence of that new approach. Instead of just buying expensive players and hoping they work out, United are looking at more strategic, creative solutions. Final thoughts. The potential Jadon Sancho-Douglas Luiz swap deal represents everything that makes transfer windows exciting. It's got drama, it's got financial complexity, and it could have huge implications for both clubs involved. For United fans, this deal represents hope. Hope that the club can move on from players who haven't worked out, and hope that they can bring in players who will make a difference. Douglas Luiz might not be the most exciting name, but he's exactly the kind of solid, reliable player that United need. For Sancho, this represents a fresh start, a chance to prove himself in a new league, with a new club, and hopefully rediscover the form that made him one of Europe's most exciting young players. The next few days and weeks will be crucial. Will this deal actually happen? Will both players thrive in their new environments? Will this be remembered as a masterstroke or a missed opportunity? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, this is exactly the kind of creative, strategic thinking that modern football clubs need to succeed. Whether you're excited or nervous about this potential deal, you can't deny that it's exactly the kind of move that could define United's transfer window. What do you think about this potential swap? Are you excited about the possibility of signing Douglas Luiz? Or do you think United should stick with Sancho and try to make it work? Let us know your thoughts, and keep following United News for all the latest updates on this developing story. The transfer window is full of surprises, and this could be the biggest one yet. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over, and the next chapter could be written any day now.